Hey YouTubers, well it's Prediction Friday, so on the live show this morning, we did everybody's predictions, tried to read off as many of them as I could, but you can comment your prediction below in the comment line, and I'll try to run through and make some comments on that as well. I let you know what my prediction is and why I think the Packers are going to do what I think they're going to do, and also we take questions and comments from the comment stream as we go. It's a lot of fun. It's a really laid back, relaxed show, but we talk about what Packer Nation wants to know about the Green Bay Packers right now. We start off the show by rating them thus far in the season on a scale of 1 to 10. You can also comment that below and I will check it out later. I hope you have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and enjoy the show. Good Packer Nation Friday morning, guys and dolls. It is Friday. The weekend is almost here. Let me know who you are and where you're coming at me from, and we'll do a little Packer Nation roll call this Friday morning. Yeah, it's Friday, so today's your show. Get your comments ready, get your questions ready. We're going to field those, and yeah, your show today. So who's out there, who's on, who is in on this Friday morning? Trent is out there. Good to see you, buddy. Get ready for a weekend, my friend. Hector is back. He's saying good morning, Packer family. Anthony is back from Jersey City, New Jersey. All right, spent a little time in that area, down on the Jersey Shore a bit. Brian is here, Rob and Jackie is here. Jared Dixon is back, saying good day to everyone. Anthony is here, says good morning. Roger from La Crosse, my mom's hometown. Love La Crosse, Wisconsin. Brian is here. Belinda, Tony, Melinda. And DM is back. Good morning there from Victorville, California. You're living in a good place as a Packer fan. Victorville is a good place for a Packer fan to live. Tim, Anthony, Michelle are all on board. Good to see you guys. Well, yeah, it's Friday, so here's the deal. It's your show. Friday, I'm just going to take your questions, we'll banter about your comments, etc., etc. Donald is back. Thomas is back. Good to see you guys. And Bryce. From Iowa. It's a little chilly. Yeah, it's cooling off down here too. I love it because now I can put the fan in the window and don't have to have the air conditioner running. Ron is here. Jose, Brad, and Daniel. Good to see you guys. Yeah, all right, here's my first question. Let me put this as a talking point, guys, because I have this question, all right? So we're not technically through our first quarter of the season in terms of how many games we've had, obviously, because we had a bye week last week. But as we'll call it the first quarter, about this first quarter of play. My feed is breaking up on me again already. This first quarter of play, where would you rate the Packers right now? Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, the whole shebang. 1 through 10, if you are 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, where are you at in terms of you rating this Packers team all told? Again, if 1 is like, these guys are going to fall apart, then 10 is these guys are going to go run the table for the rest of the season. What number would you put on the Packers right now through just the first 3 games? I know it's early and there's way too much football to be played, but Lance says a 6. Kyle says a 7. Good morning, Brad. Good to see you. From Mattoon, Illinois. I don't know where that is. That's pretty cool. LB Smith's got the Packers at an 8 right now. We're just rating them 1 through 10. Taking all things into account. Justin says 8 as well. Brian's got a 5, so he sounds like Brian's on the fence a little bit. Jerry's giving him a 6.5. Donald, 8. Felton says 7. All right, we're grouping. It looks like we're grouping in that sort of 5 to 8 range for the most part. Tim and Trent and Willie all say 7. And I think that's about where I'd have us. Honestly, I would probably be in the 6 or 7. I like a little chutzpah out there with a 6.5. That's pretty awesome. 7.5. All right. Peter is here. He's got a 7. Yeah, we're looking at, and I think if we averaged all of this out, I think we would probably be thinking that this is a team with the arrow pointed in the right direction, but still some question marks that need to be answered. And what better time than Sunday coming up to start to answer those questions. My allergies bother me a little this morning. What better time than Sunday to start answering these questions? And the question being, is the offense going to play a full 4 quarters of scoring football? And again, if you heard me last week, my favorite series of the entire Detroit Lions game did not even come in the first half. My favorite series of that game was the first series of the second half. We ended up having to kick a field goal because Brian Bulaga held on an Aaron Rodgers first down that would have brought us inside the 15-yard line, and we ran the ball with Eddie Lacy 4 times in that game. Layla is asking if they're wearing pink cleats. Some of them will be, I'm thinking, but I'm not sure. And that is a very cool Green Bay Packer with a pink ribbon profile picture that you've got. So I don't know where you got that. Maybe some others would like to know where you could get that and snag it and maybe change it temporarily in your Facebook profile. That's really awesome. So yeah, I think we're all kind of thinking the same thing on offense. We want to see them score for 4 quarters. We want to start fast, especially in this Giants game. We talked about that as a key to this game, is to start fast. I see Joe, there's some people putting your predictions up. If you hold off on it, because I'll miss them, because we're going to do the predictions in a little bit. If you put it up now, I will miss giving you guys a shout out on it later. It's totally fine if you want to do it now, too. You can do it both times, too. It won't bother me a bit. Again, it's Friday. It's your show. Do what you want today. Unless you're a troll. Yesterday, I had to do a mic drop for Vikings troll that got on board. We didn't ban him. I just went walking tall on him. You guys remember. Give me a thumbs up if you remember. Before we do predictions about the game, I'll do a prediction about this Vikings fan troll that came on yesterday. I predict that he crawled back down to the couch in his mom's basement, picked up his remote control, and remains there to this day. And if he comes back, I'll probably just ban him because he had nothing to say. We knew he had nothing to say. And I thank all of you for backing me up when the trolls come on, for letting me know when the trolls come on. And if I see them, I got no hesitation whatsoever. Hey, you can be a fan of whatever team you want. And if they get on here and they're like, if somebody just says go Vikes or something, if they're on here and they're being respectful of our page, I'm cool with that. Get on here. But when they get on here and start trying to go all, they start getting on here and trying to cuss with us, I will take them the cuss down. A lot of people remember it. It was kind of fun. I enjoy it from time to time. It's one of my dark triad qualities, I think. Okay, so we have some offensive question marks. We also have some defensive question marks, do we not? Haters. Yeah. We also have some defensive question marks, and that is, when is our defensive backfield going to start getting the job done back there and closing down the big plays? We know that this is a defense that's going to give up yardage between the 20s. However, we have been giving up shot play after shot play after shot play. And in the last game, the game against Detroit, we dropped 3 easy interceptions. These are possession-changing plays. We have to finish plays. This defensive backfield has done some good things. Don't get me wrong. They have. They've done some good things. And we know our defensive front is doing a fantastic job right now. And we're getting healthier coming back after the bye. But yeah, that's the question mark on defense. And that's part of the reason I think that this, I would rate very similar to most of you in that 7 range. I think this team has the personnel to be in that 8 to 10 range, to be quite honest. I think this team has the personnel. I'm concerned about the Eagles. I'm concerned a little bit about the Eagles, but again, they're going to implode at some point. I'm concerned about the Falcons right now, but look what they did last year. They went 5-0, and then they imploded as well. This is a team that can beat anybody in the business right now if they play the game, and we'll see what happens. All right, Andrew, let's do some I see Andrew saying the run D is solid. Best in the league right now. There's still way too many games to play, and that's what Mike Tregovic said today. He said they're doing a good job so far, but there's a lot to play. And I think I saw somebody was mentioning, let this be the game, and I didn't see the rest of the comment, but I'm going to fill in the blanks, and this will be my comment if it's not yours, is I hope this is not the game where OBJ, we let him get his feet back under him. We need to take him out of this game. It's going to be a tall task. Donald is here. That's the Dom Capers defense. Yeah, and to some extent, we're stuck with it. To some extent, with the personnel that we've got now, I'm liking it more and more. We expected this defensive backfield to be strong. They've been a little bit of a question mark. It's kind of a surprise to all of us, I think, out there. All right, Brad White says Randall will bounce back. I agree with you, Brad. Here's to you, Brad. The guy is a hard worker. Joe Witt talked about it. He said he works as hard as anybody. He's going to be fine. Obviously, when you're a cornerback, you have to be of that you have to have a short memory as a cornerback. I think he has that quality. And Miguel says, hope so. That doesn't mean, listen, this Giants team is going to make some plays. I mean, you look at the Giants, you look at the Detroit Lions, you look at the Minnesota Vikings. These are teams that are going to make plays on everybody at some point. So, yeah, what we want to do is we want to limit those. We want to put that ball on the turf or pick it off, and that's one of the things. Dan is predicting a big game for Randall. There you go, man. There's a bold prediction. Yeah, so you think he's going to have a pick? What do you mean? You think he's going to have a shutdown day with an interception or just a shutdown day? Would love to see it. Be great to see. All right, Daniel Love, Rodgers to Rodgers. Yeah, we're going to see more of that because, of course, Cook isn't going to be playing in this game. Oh, Yola is here, says, hi, it's my birthday. So everybody wish happy, or actually just throw up a heart for Yola. It's her birthday today. Andrew says, hope Lacey gets going. I can't read these. They're coming too fast. But I agree, and I do think this is going to be a good day. I think Eddie Lacy's going to have 100 yards. That's my bold prediction, or very close to it. Eddie Lacy does a good job, especially at home at Lambeau. The last 3 games, I think he has had 100-yard games when he played at Lambeau. Will we see Shields again this season? The answer is yes. Shields is not even considering retirement at this time, is what we're hearing. And he just has to go through the protocol. It may take time. We saw this we've seen this in the past, and it's just going to take time. We have to try to be patient. That's all that we can do. But yes, he will be back. Will we see Janis on offense? I doubt it. We'll see him out on special teams. I kind of doubt it until they see how he plays and how the hand works in terms of, the special teams play where he's having to tackle. I just have this doubt because, we didn't even see Jared Abbrederis hardly on the field right now. And unless, Davante Adams or somebody has a really bad day, Davante Adams seems like he can have a bad day and we're going to keep him on the field anyway. So we'll see maybe a little bit of Ty Montgomery. We might see Jared Abbrederis, but I don't expect to see much of Janis unless they're thinking different than me. Again, they did, Trevor Davis they've got in there. They've been rotating him in. So they may put in a speed package with those 2 guys on the outside. You never know. I wouldn't be against it at all. I'm not against seeing Janis, so don't get me wrong on that one. But I just think that we may not see him in this game very much at all. So, all right, what else do we got? Janis may be a returner. Maybe a kick returner. I think they like what they're seeing out of Trevor Davis in the punt return game. Is Adams bringing his hands to the game? Oh, ouch. All right, Bryce, I think it was. That's the mic drop of the day. It comes from the fans today. Is Adams bringing his hands to the game? Holy smokes. You can put a laugh on the screen if you like that one. I love it. Big smile from me, man. Awesome. All right, Angel is here. I see she put up her prediction. We'll do that in just a minute. All right, Jared, I'm definitely okay. I can't keep up. All right, what happened to Jared Abbrederis in our offense? Yeah, they're not feeling the need. They're looking for this speed. They're when they bring in the young guys, they're liking what they see. I don't know why Jared Abbrederis isn't on the field more, as a possession guy. I really don't, to be quite honest. I love the guy. He did everything, he could. Every time he gets on the field, he does good things. He reminds me of Justin Perillo, who we talked about yesterday. Every time he gets on the field, he seems to do something good. But he doesn't ever seem to get on the field. Now, Perillo we'll see more of course, in this game with Cook being out. But it's going to be interesting. I would like to see them incorporate Trevor Davis more. And I think that's part of the reason that we're not seeing Jared Abbrederis. Because that's the one thing, the Packers' MO for many years has been, you have to catch everything that comes to you. You have to get yards after the catch. That yak that we talk about, you have to run great routes, but you do not have to be fast to be a Packers receiver. And we proved that that speed isn't the be-all, end-all of being a receiver in the NFL. However, we have seen this year a little bit of a change of heart. I said this since the beginning, that when we brought in Janis and we brought in Trevor Davis, that we are sort of giving a nod to the idea that if you can take the top off of defense, you can open the middle up. There's all kinds of, it's a domino effect that happens. And especially now you put in a set, 2 wides out there. Maybe you got your 22 with Trevor Davis and Jeff Janis. Of course, if you got Trevor Davis, you're probably going to put Jordy Nelson. I know, but I'm just saying, you put 2 speed guys out there, Jordy is, he's fast too. So we could really use a package like that. Peter Vargas is commenting, maybe Abby's not doing well in practice. That's one of the things that we just don't know. Yeah, it's a good point, because it's one of the things we don't know. But I got to say, Jared Abbrederis, I expect him to be as hardworking in practice as he is on the field. And again, he's one of those guys that just seems to get the job done when he gets out on the field. And Miguel says Trevor and Janis are big bodies as well. Yeah. All right. Eric Hill says Jordy. Guys, what are it's Prediction Friday, all right? So and you can keep rolling comments. I'll keep commenting as we go, but I'm going to talk about my prediction for a moment, and then it's time for your prediction. So get your fingers on the button, unless you're driving. I'm all in this time. I think the Packers go off. I think it's breaking up again, so I'm going to wait for a second. I think the Packers go off on the Giants D right now. I don't know how the Vikings didn't score like 40 points. This defense, yeah, they spent a lot of money on their defensive line, but I think if we open up the middle of the field again and get some quick strikes, I'm a little bit concerned that we don't have Jared Cook. I would really, really like to have Jared Cook on the field in this game. I think he would have a fantastic game. But I think Richard Rodgers has at least 2 big first down catches in this game. I think we had talked about this before, and I agreed with somebody who popped this up. I think Davante Adams has a chance to have a very big day, a 2-touchdown day. Here's what's happening. Davante Adams he's becoming the beneficiary of Jordy Nelson being healthy and Randall Cobb being on the field. Okay, so I think Adams has at least 1 touchdown in this game. I'm going to give a touchdown to Adams. I'm going to give a touchdown to Randall Cobb in this game. I think they're going to have to do everything they can to stop Jordy Nelson, and teams are realizing this. Early on, I think teams kind of hedged their bet a little bit with Jordy on the field that he may not be 100% yet, and now they're seeing Jordy gash defenses. They're going, and the Giants are going to have to do everything they can. I think DRC, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, is injured on the injury report as well. I think the Packers chew up the Giants' defensive backfield. They are not the defense of old. So I think our offense goes walking tall on Sunday night. Cobb gets 1. I think Adams gets 1. I think Eddie Lacy is going to get 1. Eddie Lacy or James Starks, actually, either one, I wouldn't be surprised. I've got 3. I think we put 5 on the board, the 2 more. I wouldn't be surprised if Richard Rodgers doesn't score a touchdown in this game. And so I think I'm missing 1 more. I got Cobb, I got Adams, I got Lacy. And then, one of our tight ends. I would love to see one of our tight ends score in the red zone, like not from way out, which neither of our tight ends at this point are likely to score from further out than the 20. They're just not that they're not the Jared Cooks of the league. And then, I guess I'll toss 1 up for grabs there. So that way I hedge my bet. I think the Packers... I think the Packers score 35 in this game. I'm thinking about adding a field goal to that as well. This is at Lambeau. One of the hesitations I have is this whole Aaron Rodgers not playing well at night thing. This is starting to bother me. That Vikings game was not a good game. I don't care where you lay the blame. There's plenty of blame in that game to be had, but that was just not a good game. I mean, and give credit to the Vikings. Packers 35, Giants 24. I got to write it on the board. And I don't have anything up on the board right now. So, 35-24. I actually am. I want to change it to 28 right now. I can't though because I already wrote it on the board. I'm staying true. We got Carrie says 35-17. Peter Vargas, Lacey with 110 plus yards. Nice. I like it, buddy. 56-17. Packers says Justin. Keith says 31-24. Adams being an X factor. All right. I think we're kind of on the same board there. Brown says 34-17. Packers. LB. Going to be close, 35, and I didn't see the rest, maybe 27. Sorry about that. You guys can see it in the comments. Andrew Martin says 45-31. We got 35-21. Lacey 100 plus, says Miguel. DM Kreutzer says, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, says 24, no way from the Giants. So I guess you're thinking the defense is going to shut them down. I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. This is the show me game for the defense. I think it is possible. But I am looking at Eli Manning. I am looking at Shepard, Sterling Shepard, Victor Cruz, and OBJ. Our defense is not going to get in OBJ's head like other defenses will, I think. So this is why I think the Giants are going to score 24 in this one. I can't see our defense keeping them out of the end zone, to be quite honest. I do think our defense, the X factor in this game for me is none other than Clay Matthews. If Clay Matthews gets out there, well, actually, Clay Matthews and Nick Perry is, I give Mike Daniels tons of props on this show about being a beast because I just love the way the guy plays defense. Nick Perry is kicking cuss and taking names. He is kicking the cuss out of people out there. Nick Perry is having a Pro Bowl year, leading the team in sacks right now, I believe, with 3.5 sacks in 3 games. Had 2 against the Detroit Lions, if I'm remembering right. He loves playing the Lions. He's from Detroit. He loves playing the Lions. His favorite quarterback to sack is Matthew Stafford. He's always got family in the stands when he plays the Detroit Lions. I am loving it. But so that's my X factor is if we completely rile and shake up Eli Manning, I think we've got a chance to keep him out of the end zone. I got the Packers with 24. You can come back. Yeah. And some of them, some of you out there, I do expect our defensive backfield to play better. And if we turn the ball over, that could be big. You keep the ball out of Eli Manning's hands and no, they can't score, at least not for that series. So point taken. I still think that they're going to put points on the board. And I will be more than happy to be wrong on that and see our defense dominate. I think we can dominate up front. However, one of the reasons I'm expecting points out of the Giants is not just because they have Eli Manning and not just because they have this wide receiver core that, you got to be honest, this wide receiver core top to bottom will match with anyone in the league right now. And the only reason OBJ is hurting his team, it's not because he can't be an elite player. It's because everybody can get in his head and he's a child. That's the reason. I expect him to play better this week, to be quite honest. But what was my point? Here's the deal, guys. The Giants' offensive line held the Vikings to 0 sacks in that matchup game on Monday night. Now, I know there was one person we had some banter on here yesterday about that as to whether the reason for that is that the Vikings defense is slowing down. I don't see it. When I watch them play, I don't see them slowing down. I don't know what slowing down might mean. The injuries taking their toll might have a different definition of that. But the Giants' offensive line held the Vikings to 0 sacks. You remember what the Vikings did to Aaron Rodgers. Now, obviously, there's familiarity there. But I am surprised at how well their offensive line is playing right now. So that, again, if we can't get to Eli Manning early and often, look at what we've seen. We've got a defensive line that is getting to the quarterback. But the problem is our defensive backfield isn't holding up long enough for that last half second we'd have twice as many sacks by now. We're doing a good job, but it could be great. So again, this could be the game. Joe Witt, the cornerbacks coach, said it this week. And I got that quote. I actually wrote this down. Said it's going to be a challenge. He's talking about, Victor Cruz, Shepard, and OBJ. He said it's going to be a challenge, but what better day than Sunday to get it done? So totally with you. Would love to be wrong about that, but I do think the Giants are going to put some points on the board. All right, you guys have been waiting long enough. Roll up your predictions for this game. I did a few of them. I'm going to stop talking now. I've got 35-24. If you haven't had your prediction read off today, we'll finish the show with it because today's your day. Roll it up. If you haven't had it read out, let's talk about it for a little bit. Patrick says pressure Eli and he will throw wild, and I do think we are going to get some pressure on him. But again, my only hesitation is I was very surprised at how well their offensive line is playing right now. All right, 4 sacks in the game. I could see that. Jared says 53-27 Pack. Bryce 34-28. 32-24 says Brent. 27-17. We got a 35-21. A lot of people out there. I mean, we're seeing a pattern again, and this is a pattern that I think we look at the personnel. MJ says 41-28 Pack. Trent says we need to get our hands up and knock the ball down at the line. Now, that's one of the things that we saw Nick Perry is good at. We also see this in Kenny Clark, remember, in the preseason. Getting his hands up and knocking balls down, very important. It's not an interception, but it's very important. Hector says 38-14 Packers. Rick Motti, my buddy out there, my homegrown buddy, Rick says 42-38. So you've got the Giants as well scoring points in this game. I'm like you. I'm in a wait-and-see approach. I've got the Giants, I really want to say 28. I've got the Giants scoring 24, however. Willie says 35-14. Tony 38-17. Trevor 34-28 Pack. Vanessa says 35-14. We all know that this Packers team can put 30-plus on anybody. We can drop a 30-burger every time we take the field, and this is what we should be doing. Now, if you do that, just think of what that does. Because our defense is coming on strong up front, and our linebacking situation now with Blake Martinez and Jake Ryan and Joe Thomas making shot plays in the middle. If our defensive backfield, which I still believe we are deep in the defensive backfield, Ladarius Gunter is coming on, having a good year. If we can square some things up, this is going to be a special team. Now we get Jeff Janis. He's got the cast off. Let's keep our eye on him on special teams coverage units in this game. We start to win the battle of field position in this game. It becomes a domino effect. Nobody out there wants to deal with Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy and Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams and Jared Cook when he comes back with the Packers having good field position, starting on their 30-yard line. We will be in the red zone 2 plays later if we start coming along the way we know we can. Chris says, we got this. Go, Pack, go. Yeah, bring it on. And now's a great time, guys. Let's just put up a heart if you have a Go Pack Go for me this Friday morning. I mean, it's Friday. It's the same show every week, right? After the Vikings game, we played poorly. We lost, it was all down. But then by Friday, it was like, no, we're freaking getting this done. We are getting this done. And I do believe the Packers get it done in this game. My one question mark, what I would love to see wrong about my prediction, I would love to see the Packers defensive backfield go out there and have their best game to date. I don't expect them to keep the Giants off the board. I don't think it's required that we keep the Giants completely off the board in terms of a shutout. But we know that this Packer defense, as of last year, look at how the offense had to lean on the defense. This Packer defense is better than last year's defense right now. Now, we're missing Sam Shields. I understand that. But this Packer defense showed last year that they could shut teams out in the second half of games when the game was on the line, when the offense was sputtering. The defense could pitch a shutout when it needed to do so. I believe they can still do this. I think they may hold the Giants scoreless in 2 quarters. I just think we're going to have some of these big plays come through for the Giants. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, here's my big concern. Let me just check to see if there are some comments that came through. Giants are give in and never try to score. Go Pack, go. Yeah. All right, Tristan, I like that. Keep them to low yardage. Yeah, if we can. And again, that starts with the run game. This is where our defense shines. We are tops in the league in terms of holding teams to low yardage in the running game in particular. It's our passing game that has now given us a little bit of trouble. Peter says, if we are a ball hawk, then we will win. Yeah. And in the Detroit game, remember, 3 dropped interceptions right in the hands. I think it was Joe Witt that talked about that as well. No, it wasn't Joe Witt because the question was asked about Joe Thomas dropping his interception. He said, listen, you look at the tape and what you tell the guy is you did everything right in this play. There's no reason not to finish it with the interception that you deserve at that point. So let's do that. Let's finish it with the interceptions. And Brown says, go Pack. All right, go Pack. Jerry is here. OBJ will have 10 yards receiving and a touchdown, but it won't be enough. And I'm on board. That's my fear in this game. And I'm starting to spit like Tim the Enchanter again right now. It's awesome. This is my fear in this game. That's why I'm kind of high on this notion of just put Ladarius Gunter out there on him. I think he's the only guy that can play the style of defense that will get in Odell Beckman, as I call him, out of disrespect, because I have no respect for him as a person. I know he's a great player, but you saw my spiel on that, so I call him Odell Beckman. Hunter is the kind of guy that can get in his face and get in his head, and then he will implode. My fear is that the Packers are going to have, that OBJ is going to have one of his best games against us of the season. This is what I fear, and you've seen this in the past. This is the one thing, you guys know what I'm talking about, where we have a guy come in and the Packers give him the game of his life. This is what I don't want to see happen. I know our Packer coach's approach is to just focus on you. Focus on the fundamentals, focus on your technique, and good things will follow. That's what Joe Witt said this week. But again, there are times, man, I would really love, you look at, if Mike Daniels was matched up against a guy like this, if it not a wide receiver, obviously, but if Mike Daniels was matched up again, he would bring the fight to him. I would love to see us bring the fight to OBJ on Sunday night, but we're not style of defense to do it. And I don't think we have the characters in the background. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying I would like to see it in this game. I would like to see OBJ smashing his helmet into the kicker's net where it crashes into his face like he did a couple games back. I would like to see him get unsportsmanlike conduct and et cetera, et cetera. I just don't think that's the game we're going to play. So I think we do get it done, like the comment said. I don't think it's going to be enough. But in my mind, I would love to see us shut down a guy like this. I think it's something that a defensive backfield that's been a bit maligned this season thus far can kind of hang their hat on. It's a nice peg to hang your hat on. We've had guys run through us. Look at from Jacksonville on down. And they play great receivers. But you play great receivers every week. And this Packers defensive backfield needs a game that they can kind of hang their hat on, a confidence builder. And, this could be the game. But Oscar says Lacy got to run it more. And that is, again, this is, I think, because I've been calling for this. And like I say, my favorite series of the Detroit game was the first series of the second half where we mostly ran the ball and then we threw it to Justin Perillo. I loved it because we ran Eddie Lacy 4 times in a row. Now, that would typically is going to take your point total down. So why am I saying 35? Well, I'm saying 35 because I don't think that the Packers are sold on running out the clock. I think that if we were, let's say we score 30 plus again in, like we did against Detroit, then you're going to see the ball handed to Eddie Lacy more. Then the point total, but then you've already got your 30 points on the board plus. So I'm still expecting us to score a lot of points, but I totally agree, and I do want us to see us run Eddie Lacy in this game. But we're going to mix it in is what's going to happen. We're going to do it based on, defensive sets. If they're stacking the box, then, it doesn't make sense to just pound the rock all the time. But if you throw the ball, then they have to loosen up the box. They can't keep that safety down in the box. And then, of course, in the passing game, who are they going to roll cover? They're going to have to, I've got to think, every defense in the league knows by now that Jordy Nelson is back. You're going to have to roll a safety over the top to him. You're going to have to do something to get help with Jordy Nelson right now. So that's why I think Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams, that's not to say that Jordy Nelson can't easily score a touchdown in this game as well. And there are going to be opportunities. You saw him in the Detroit Lions game. He got singled up in the slot against a tight end. For crying out loud, a mismatch like that, it is over. Eddie Lacy did I say tight end or linebacker? On a linebacker? Jordy Nelson on a linebacker in the slot. They put him in the slot, and the linebacker lined up. And I don't know if the defense didn't know who they were looking at across from him. But if he did, he knew he was burned at that point. And it was touchdown city from there on. Aaron Rodgers knows where he's going to throw it. Jordy Nelson knows it's going to come to him. It's over at that point. And I loved it when they lined him up in the slot like that and moved him around. It makes it very difficult for defenses to not end up with a mismatch in that situation. So guys, yeah. Weather predicted to be in the 50s, 53 for the game at kickoff, says LB. And this is a great point. Is 50, that even like 45 to 55 degree range for football. Oh, it just gives me chills. It's so awesome. All right. DM is agreeing with Otis. Lacey and Starks need to pound the rock in the fourth quarter. Yeah, and I do think this might be, and that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting for our score to be a little more spread out and the pounding the rock, rather than having what we were trying to do is actually an entire half of it. We thought we could pound, and we were having success. We were going to score points until that holding call blew the whole series out of the water. It was a pretty weak call, if I remember right, as well. But I do think that may be the case, but I'm expecting that in the fourth quarter this time around, okay? If the score is spread out a little bit more, we end up pounding the rock, maybe we get a turnover late in the fourth. Now we're able to just run the ball and do it that way. So, all right, guys, well, if you haven't had your prediction put up, I will close the show with this. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoyed our little talk. Or if you have another comment, you can throw it up. I'll read off a few more. If they roll up for me and I get going again, then feel free to step off. If it's time for you to leave, that's fine. Nancy is saying, I will be there next Sunday. All right, you need to swing by and pick me up, Nancy. I will be waiting with my Superman lunch pail out by the mailbox, and I'm expecting you to pick me up. Peter says more Lacey and Starks this time. How many pass interference will the secondary have? Ooh, interesting. Hey, when the game comes out, that's one of the calls you're going to be able to make. We've got this new game coming out, and you can win the Precious from us in my league. This is GPN league only. This is going to go worldwide. You're going to get to play with your team. You're going to get to play live, single-handed. You don't even have to put down your beer. You guys know the spiel if you've heard it before. But if you haven't signed up yet, you can't find it on the Google Play Store because it is right now in beta testing and just about to come out at the end of October. So you will know about it before your friends. What you need to do is get on. Brown is saying, can't wait for the game. It is going to be a blast. You go to greenbaypackernation.com. The very first post says, get the app, get in before the app even comes out. Fill out the form. All I need is your name, phone number, and email address. And the reason I need your phone number is because this is a mobile app, Android and iPhone. You'll be able to use it, but it's a mobile app, so we need your phone number, and I will personally send you from my phone to yours. You get an invitation from me to the game. It's the only way to get it is through us, guys. Those of us who liked it so much, we bought the company. So MJ is going to be at the Thursday night Bears game. Oh, man, MJ, you are required to stop by and pick me up. In fact, I will be waiting at the top of the hill for you with my lunch pail. DM says the ring, the Precious. You win. We call it the Precious. You win the Precious. It will look great on your desk. It shines in its sparkles. You also will get to smack talk me about the fact that you took it from me for about 30 seconds, and I will have to post it on GPN. So, all right, Patrick is saying goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate that. He says 27-17 and go Pack go. All right, you can all like that comment. Interesting, a 10-point game. That'll be interesting to see. All right, Gordon says go Pack. Brown says she wants the Precious. My mailman is here early today. I don't know what's going on with that. But, all right, 55 zip would be awesome. Absolutely. We are with you. Whoever said that, yes, 55 zip would be awesome. All right, guys, well, on the way out, why don't you give me a heart or a thumbs up for a Go Pack Go on Friday. I will probably not do a show on Saturday because I try to take a day off. And I will be watching the Badgers. Wait, I'm not sure if the Badgers' bye week is this week, but I will be watching the Badgers as they bounce back from the debacle of the other day. You guys have a great day. Remember, get the ring. Jump on greenbaypackernation.com. Give me a Go Pack Go with your hearts, your thumbs up. It's time to roll on. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you have a great one. Be safe out there and have a lot of fun. All right, guys, Go Pack. Get the ring.